Hello, let's go to Vermont. And Lakshman too is accompanying us this time. And we are going to explore the most charming places in Vermont from crystal lakes to sky high peaks, the Green Mountain State, which is a stunner. The Green Mountain State is carpeted in 4.5 million acres of forest, which accounts for 76% of the total landscape. So, named after the tree covered range which runs all the way north to the border of Quebec, Vermont is home to 67 mountains and peaks carved with thousands of miles of hiking trails. America is known for its eateries and diners, especially 9W Market in Palisade, where the freshly baked items combined with a charming homey atmosphere makes it a destination for locals and travelers alike. Located in Palisades, New York, along iconic Route 9W, the market opened in 2011 with a mission to provide seasonal gourmet food and local fare to the community. Mediterranean influenced and market driven, the entire menu is prepared on site. So it is casual, flexible, and fun, and they encourage every guest to craft their own. And for me, there's never been a better time to have a sweet tooth in Rockland County. The market's bakery offers a rotating array of creative pastries, stunning cakes, fine breads, and mouth-watering cookies, and not to mention the smooth, creamy pizzas. Fully open to traffic in 2018, the Governor Mario M. Cuomo Bridge is 3 miles state of the art twin span crossing connecting Rockland and Westchester counties. Located less than 20 miles north of New York City, the cable stayed span crosses one of the widest parts of the Hudson River and is the longest bridge in New York State. The bridge features the longest shared bicycle pedestrian path in the nation. A Vermont road trip should be always on your bucket list. It is an absolutely gorgeous state that is well worth a visit. Not only are there pretty sights around every corner, but there are plenty of awesome things to do no matter where you happen to land. Your chance of seeing and doing the most awesome things in the Green Mountain State is best if you do a bit of planning before you hit the road. It takes about 4 hours from Jersey City to Vermont or Springfield, where we are heading to. But because of the traffic, it nearly took us 5 hours to reach our destination. Rooted in the grandeur of the Green Mountains, Vermont offers authentic New England hospitality experiences, a relaxed lifestyle, rusticity, and abundant outdoor adventures which inspire visitors to relax, appreciate, and engage. Natural beauty, commitment to the land and community, and a relaxed lifestyle are among the discoveries awaiting your visit to Vermont. This cozy cottage of Ina is located on the beautiful Connecticut River, nestled between fertile farmland with mountain views abound. The cottage design offers functionality and basic comforts, including a kitchen, great for all seasons. The cottage had all the amenities, and the stay was very cozy and comfortable. So come, bask in the beauty of Springfield and relax completely. Springfield is a four-season full-service community with a vibrant and historic downtown area and is known as home of The Simpsons after winning the Simpsons hometown movie premiere in 2007. Springfield offers access to many recreational activities throughout the year, including a 3 mile long path known as the Tunable Trail, winding along the Black River. The trail was built from an abandoned railroad corridor for walking, bicycling, rollerblading, snowshoeing, and cross country skiing. Most importantly, we decided to stay at Springfield because the Queshi Gorge, the most stunning gorge of Vermont, is located near Springfield. The focal point of the park is Vermont's deepest gorge formed by glacial activity approximately 13,000 years ago. Visitors can look at the Ottaquesha River flowing 165 feet below viewing points along Route 4 in the Vermont State Park, which is also known as the Queshi State Park. The Queshi Gorge is also known as Vermont's Little Grand Canyon. Some 13,000 years ago, during the Ice Age, Queshi, like the majority of the American continent, was covered by a glacier. As the glacier receded from the ocean waters, the melting water slowly and steadily cut away the bedrock ridge that has become Vermont's most spectacular natural wonder, the Queshi Gorge. So one can enjoy beautiful vistas 168 feet from the bridge above the Ottaquesha River, have a picnic overlooking the waterfalls. For more active groups, one can enjoy hiking or walking the trails along the mile-long chasm. There's something so fascinating about gorges that seems to boggle the mind while also evoking a sense of adrenaline, whether it's the steep razor's edge cliffside or the daunting water current below. It's something that travelers can't seem to get enough of. To the surprise of many, one of the most incredible gorges in the eastern half of the US can be found in New England, right in little old Vermont. And this Queshi Gorge is considered a natural wonder as far as New England's geological features go. Found on the border between Vermont and New Hampshire, the quiet, unsuspecting town of Queshi would never seem as though it's home to something so spectacular. Here's what to know before visiting the gorge and why one should prepare themselves for great heights and dramatic views. You should be fit enough and you should not be scared of heights if you're going to take a trail of the Queshi Gorge. As with most gorges around the world, Queshi Gorge is a result of centuries of work by Mother Nature. Queshi and the surrounding area were once home to a glacier, and as it melted, the water did what it does best, wear down existing formations. The deep chiseled groove that separates the two banks of the gorge was slowly carved out by consistently flowing water, leading to the great depths that are seen today. The gorge reaches a depth slightly more than 160 feet at its deepest point, and the current beneath is swift and strong at certain river bends. So one has to be careful. It's worth exploring via either the bridge that goes across it or the hiking trails that surround it, or both, some of which lead to swimming holes that are frequented by the locals. The bridge itself sits about 168 feet above the water below, and the visitors center is the first place to go for newcomers to the gorge. It was built in 2005 and has been a hit ever since, offering an in-depth history of the area. The bridge allows visitors to get a better view of this incredible natural wonder. But be warned, it's not for those with a fear of heights, as the center of the bridge allows for a full view of the rushing waters below. Queshi Gorge is home to small waterfalls, swimming holes, hiking trails, and overlooks, but one might want to take advantage of what which surrounds the gorge before heading on down. The Visitors Center offers all the amenities one might need before exploring the area, including washrooms and ample parking. It's easy to assume that the trails that reside within Queshi Gorge National Park are extensive and challenging, but this isn't the case for all of them. Those hiking will find that the gradual slopes down to the bottom of the gorge are quite manageable, especially with proper footwear and trekking poles. From the Queshi Gorge Trailhead, it's less than half a mile to the bottom of the gorge. From that same trail, hikers can reach the dam overlook, which provides views of a cascading dam overflow as well as unique angle of the gorge itself. The longest trail, which is still less than 1 mile, takes hikers to Dewey's Mill Pond, which is another scenic area of the gorge. All of these are easily explored in a day. Well, while viewing the gorge from the Queshi Gorge Bridge from the high up vantage point, it's easy to see how it earned the nickname of Vermont's Grand Canyon. While it evokes a similar adrenaline rush, Queshi Gorge is far more lush and green, surrounding on all sides by dense woodland. This is best seen from above, and access to the bridge is incredibly easy. The views from this bridge are arguably some of the best in the state and are always impressive to visitors. Starting from the visitor center, the bridge is easy to find and there's a parking at the opposite end. The walk to and across the bridge is rather short and easily done, and the views are phenomenal. While the hikes are fairly easy, some might want to simply take in the views from the bridge, as this is takes the least amount of effort with the most payoff, depending on how close one wishes to get to the gorge itself. Well, whatever information I got, I found that the gorge is open 7 days a week, and hikers should take care to pay attention to the weather and trail conditions before heading down. This beautiful gorge is worth the hike. It's steep but short, worth every step. The view is incredible. If not able to hike, you can walk the bridge on RT4. These views are also spectacular and much easier. It was indeed a beautiful walk through the woods down to the gorge. All the foliage made it hard to see until you get to the bottom and walked out on the rocks to look upstream. It's an impressive view. We started by heading down to the bottom of the gorge, which is less than half a mile, and the path, which is mostly gravel, but it wasn't a problem walking down in our sneakers. However, it gets fairly steep at points, though, which means that the walk up is a little harder. And there's a lookout spot as you go down where you can get some incredible views of the Otaqueshe River. Once you reach the bottom of the gorge, there are all kinds of rocks that you can sit on and walk over. However, one must be careful though, as some of the rocks are a little slick. So we decided to do a little exploring. Then the drone was out taking picturesque shots, and we walked along the bank back up the river. So it wasn't too hard actually climbing up and across the rocks. There were several other people at the gorge that day who came to enjoy their weekends, and the families were enjoying a dip in the river as there was fairly deep swimming holes which didn't have a strong current. There was a waterfall on the other side of the river. We'd had a reasonable amount of rain that time, so I imagine the waterfall's not quite as strong during the drier weather. After spending a little while at the bottom of the gorge, we headed back uphill and continued along the trail to Queshi Gorge Dam. So, based on the map we'd gotten from the visitor center, the trail was supposed to continue further to Dewey's Mill Pond. However, it appeared to be blocked off, so we headed back along the path we'd come in on. And then, when we finally found the Queshi Gorge Dam, we really saw that it was another piece of wonder. So I would say that it's a beautiful scenic area and it was a nice trek without being too strenuous. Further exploration along the Otaqueshe River and through some meadows and woods is also possible, although it can easily be skipped if you just want to visit the gorge area. We continued upstream on the trail, which brought us along the gorge, then to a dam with waterfalls, which was indeed picturesque, then onto an isthmus that runs between Otaqueshu River and Dewey's Mill Pond. At the end of the trail where it meets the road, we retraced our footsteps back downstream beneath Route 4 bridge and passed the spar trail to the visitor center, heading further downstream to the end of the gorge. So, after the hike, we decided to go for lunch and we reached Woodstock, the charming town of Vermont. September is here, and with it comes the change of seasons. The air gets crisp and the leaves begin to slowly turn. Mother Nature determines when Woodstock VT reaches peak foliage, but there's no doubt about it. September is where it all begins. So you can grab a cup of coffee at one of the many cafes or shops, stroll through town for some retail therapy to find that perfect gift and souvenir, and be sure to stop into Vermont Flannel to pick out a cozy blanket or button down. Woodstock has several new restaurants and bars to explore that just recently opened, all within walking distance of the village. Sante Woodstock has small bites and cocktails right on Central Street with indoor and outdoor seating available. Au Comptoir, which is a French means at the bar, is a quaint village cocktail bar tucked behind the main street of downtown Woodstock and directly across from the Welcome Center. You can enjoy a cocktail and views of the Brook while in good company. But we decided to have our lunch at Woodstock Inn and Resort and had a sumptuous meal there. Woodstock, Vermont is a quintessential Northeast village encapsulated by covered bridges, the Otaqueshu River, Queshi Gorge, the March Billings Rockefeller National Park, and the picturesque New England countryside. Any time of the year is a great time to travel to Vermont, especially when visiting one of its best small towns, Woodstock. All four seasons provide endless possibilities to explore, whether you are envisioning a horse drawn sleigh through a picturesque village on a snowy winter evening or a cozy breakfast dipped in fresh maple syrup on an autumn morning. Vermont does not disappoint. So we went shopping for maple syrup in one of the ancient shops of Vermont. So if you're wondering where the heck is Woodstock, Vermont, anyway, it's the east central area of Vermont, roughly 15 miles from the border of New Hampshire. And Woodstock is considered one of the best towns to visit in Vermont too. No Vermont vacation is complete without maple syrup and cheese. In the past, it was said that Vermont had a larger population of cows than people. Not hard to imagine with farmland stretching for miles across the state. Either way, those cows are producing some great dairy, and Vermont's cheesemakers are turning it into the finest cheese. In Woodstock, we saw some beautiful fall outdoor displays. We lunched at the Woodstock Inn, and the fall decor there is outstanding. Large pumpkins line the walls in front of the inn, and guests can use the bikes parked in front of the pumpkins for a ride around the village. And I really adored this creative display of the pumpkins at the entrance gate to the Woodstock Inn. Swan gourds surround a nest filled with egg gourds. Isn't this a cute decorating idea? And also, to the right of the swan gourd display were those beautiful pumpkins. The entrance to the inn has a fabulous fall display with pumpkins, gourds, sunflower heads, dried flowers, and cornstalk. I hope My viewers enjoyed seeing these beautiful fall displays, decor ideas from Woodstock, and I hope that you got a few ideas for decorating your home for fall as well. The Woodstock Inn is definitely one of a kind. The traditional and modern comfort food was definitely very, very appealing. The covered bridges of the Green Mountains star on postcards on social media and in stories about Vermont State for a reason. They are beautiful, unique, historic. And Vermont is home to more than 100 covered bridges, boasting more covered bridges per square mile than any other US state. The bridges date from 1820, with most constructed during the mid and late 19th century. Among them is the Windsor Cornish-Covered Bridge that spans the Connecticut River between Windsor, Vermont, and Cornish, New Hampshire. You can also explore Bennington's Covered Bridge Museum, set inside a replica of a classic Vermont bridge, and learn about how the bridges were built and their place in Vermont's heritage. Few structures in America combine architectural ingenuity, economic necessity, and romantic idealism better than the covered bridges. Covered bridges flourished in the United States in the 19th century, and Vermont, with about 104 of them, has the highest density of bridges. Vermont and New Hampshire share the Cornish-Windsor Bridge, the longest wooden covered bridge in the United States. So you can plan a romantic getaway to Vermont and wander among the covered bridges, maybe stop at an art festival or country fair, and it is really marvelous. So some of the covered bridges are Scott Bridge, Taftsville Bridge, Middle Union Street Bridge, Green River Bridge, etc. Also Cornish-Windsor Bridge, as I told you before, the Kidder Hill Bridge, the Slaughterhouse Bridge, the Randall Old Burlington Bridge, and the Warren Bridge, etc. So we decided to have ice cream at the White River Junction ice cream parlor, and it was nestled near a creek, and the ambience was very rustic and pretty. So, as the adage goes, we all scream for ice cream, and not many scream louder for this sweet treat than Vermont. And with real wholesome ingredients and a classic vibe, the best ice cream parlors in the Green Mountain State are exactly what an ice cream parlor should be. So here we had the best ice cream in Vermont. Our next destination was the Billings Farm and Museum, and it's just a scenic stroll from the village center of Woodstock. And Vermont is regarded as one of the finest outdoor history museums. So we were deeply impressed by the experience, which is characterized by informative display, the first-hand experience with cows, sheep, as well as the barns. It's no exaggeration to say that dairy farming in Vermont traces its ancestry back to this walking farm in the village of Woodstock, which bred the Jersey cows that jump-started the industry in the 19th century. And now it's an excellent living history museum preserved by the National Park Service, full of interactive exhibits where kids can learn about farm life both in the 1800s and today. Billings Farm and Museum is located next to Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historic Park, another notable attraction in Vermont. So, a pleasant half-mile stroll from the Woodstock Inn, Billings Farm and Museum is an ideal way to experience the spirit of rural Vermont. And you can meet prize-winning Jersey dairy cows, draft horses, Southdown sheep, and heritage chickens, and a sample of Billing Farm's owned 100% raw milk cheddar cheese. I would suggest soak in the beauty of Vermont, take it slow, and keep your pace low. And it's not just because of the packed dirt and gravel and rustic and green lush paths. It's also the river vistas which abound on one side while a slice of unspoiled nature greets you on the other. So we took another hiking trek, which was an uphill climb. And it's just that as we continue to move, the trees rise up above us and the dappled sunlight filters down. So, this is going to be a photographer's guide to perfecting the fall foliage snaps. From light to composition, color, and subject, I have uncovered the insights that need to spice up my photographic game just in time to capture the stunning scenes of fall foliage. So we decided to hike again at the White River Junction Trail, the Clay Brook Trail. And it was a great hike, so well marked and clear paths. It's almost a 3 mile loop trail near White River Junction, Vermont, and it's considered a moderately challenging route and takes an average of 51 minutes to complete. This trail is great for birding, hiking, and mountain biking, and it's unlikely you'll encounter many other people while exploring the trail. This is a highly varied trail with a lot to see. Camping places, horse paths, biking paths, the views over the meadows with numerous ground paths are breathtaking. So, we got some spectacular views of the valley, the lake, and depending on weather conditions, this trail might be a little challenging for complete beginners or hikers with mobility issues due to some steep sections on the trail. I see my path, but I don't know where it leads. Not knowing where I'm going is what inspires me to travel. And as we trek and climb, I feel that the walk and the climb speaks to our character. However, the view, the incredible stunning vista in front of us speaks to our souls. So, this is something to be lived, a live experience, not just reading about. There is nothing better to do than hiking and exploring the outdoors when you're traveling. It's a free activity and allows travelers to enjoy the magnificent creation of Mother Nature. Not only do most hikers offer spectacular views, but it also keeps you in shape and boosts your mood and mental health, something that is often overlooked when traveling for a long term. After hiking in so many different places in the US, I would like to share with my viewers some of the favorite hiking feel and the inspiration and the capture of that feel of summiting a mountain or getting lost in the woods. Methinks that the moment my legs begin to move, my thoughts begin to flow. My imagination goes berserk, and I am transported to a different world away from the anxieties and stress of life. So, as T.S. Eliot has said, only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far they can go. So, let's wonder whether Wi Fi is not working, where there is only nature, where there is no artificiality, and only the beauty. Our next destination was the New England Peace Pagoda. The New England Peace Pagoda was completed and inaugurated in 1985. So it's a Buddhist stupa, a monument to inspire peace, designed to provide a focus for all people of all races and creeds and to help unite them in their search for world peace. Finally, we decided to go to Amherst, Massachusetts, which has beauty and brains, and really it's the entire package in the town, the most populous in Hampshire County. It's a vibrant intellectual hub. And three prestigious colleges call Amherst home: the Amherst College, Hampshire College, and UMass Amherst. So bask in the academic tradition and also the local diners. So we went to one of the Chinese diners which provided a friendly and welcoming environment with healthy and delicious meal. So, what can you do in Vermont? Cabins in the woods, colorful autumn leaves, all of the maple syrup that you can eat. So, these are just a few of the selling points of Vermont, a northeastern state with tons to offer in terms of natural beauty, delicious eats, and wonderful opportunities for sightseeing and connecting with nature. In fact, my whole vlog is incomplete, so I have divided into two parts, and this is part one. And other things about Vermont include its history and culture as a New England state. Well, for those who are bored with nature and rusticity, not like me though, I'm always full of fascination for nature and rusticity. But for those who really find it extremely boring to be with nature all the time, you can also go to malls, to movie theaters, to ice cream factories in Vermont. It's filled with tourist attractions and delights that will charm everyone, from solo backpackers to family vacations with kids. Despite its majestic mountains, I have heard that one of the most popular places to visit in Vermont is the Vermont Teddy Bear Factory. It has nothing to do with outdoors. And for the shopaholics, Burlington is the place where there are festivals and food tastings, there are art shows and street musicians, and lots of shops, cafes, bistros, and the bustling retail space. And if you are in for seafood, it would be a crime to visit the Northeast without trying Northeastern seafood. So pull up a chair at the Blue Paddle Bistro and dig in. Or you can go apple picking at Shelburne Orchards, or celebrate the start of the Vermont foliage season at the Peru Fair, or see giant works of art outside in Enosburg. So discover the top hidden gems of the beaten path in Vermont. You can also see Vermont's fall of foliage season from an entirely different perspective by taking a cruise on the Spirit of Ethan Allen on Lake Champlain. Although I have not done this, maybe that's in my bucket list. So for me, just gazing at the Queshi Gorge for the ultimate Vermont fall view, which is a staggering 165-foot deep chasm that was sculpted by glacial activity some 13,000 years ago, was the ultimate thing. So in fall foliage season, the gorge is nothing short of spectacular.